Hello, beautiful people. My name is Yvette, and this is my very first YouTube video, and it's inspired by God, no other. A few days ago, I had a dream, and dreams is just his instructions on telling me the next direction that I'm going to. I have so many, and I have so many stories to tell you about how he gave me directions through dreams. I only have them when he's changing my direction, though. In the dream, he was chasing me this time. He was chasing me of the parables for burying my gifts. So he was talking about the talents. Like, don't bury your talent that I gave you. So guess what? Here I am. So I can start telling you some things. But I was born on December 25th. So everyone called me special because my birthday was the 25th. That's all they thought. But I was like Jeremiah. I was chosen before I was even born. It was just unknown to me. It was unknown to me because I was unchurched. And the reason I was unchurched, my mom said the church people is all hypocrites. So today, here I am to introduce myself and tell you how I was before God called me into total obedience, which I will tell you in my next video. Subscribe below. But first, let me tell you a few stories. I was sometimes called a liar. And I probably was lying, but I really didn't know that I was lying because I didn't know I had a gift. So when I was 11, I told my friends that I had another house. I said, I lived across town. I said, I have a house across town on the west side. And I described the house to a T. They told my mom, she washed my mouth while I was sober. I was in a lot of trouble for telling a lie. But guess what? When I turned 26, guess what? I moved in that house. I moved in the exact house I told them that I had never saw before. But because I see in pictures, I was able to see it prior to me getting it. I didn't know that I have to think it comes to me before it happens. Then they would also call me a jinx because I would say stuff before it would happen to my friends. They'd be like, you're so jinky. And so, or I would tell them things that they thought somebody else told them, or they didn't know how I knew it. I didn't even know how I knew it. So how could I tell them? Also, my ex, he would be different places. And I'd be like, where is he at? I can go to an unknown location and just find him without him even knowing that I was coming looking for him. So, and he'd be like, he's surprised. I'm surprised too. It was a game to me. I have so much discernment. Sometimes I can hear what people are thinking and feeling. I'm going to tell you about that. That's going to be my last story because that one was really something for me. Also, with my ex, we had the best toxic, greatest worldly relationship. People thought we had the best relationship ever. He's still my friend. But I used to tell people I'm leaving him when my kids are grown. They didn't believe me because he said I was never leaving him. And I knew he was never going to let me leave him. I would leave, come back, leave, come back. I said, but guess what? When God called and said go, it was no question. I left. And he said he knew it was God because he would have never let me go. So he believed it as well. But when I was 30, my mother was passing. It was an awful time. Actually, it's still an awful time. But she would have prophets come all the time. And I would say, they're not real. They're not real. I don't believe them. I don't believe them at all. But one day this prophet came and his name was John. Short guy. He had a dot in the middle of his head. And he came and as usual, I have an attitude like, what is he here for? And I went to the bathroom and was talking stuff about him. And he came back. I came back downstairs and he told me. And I said, oh my gosh, he's like me. He can read people too. Because I had never met anyone, didn't know that it was even something that happens to people. So I was surprised. So guess what? I was like, okay, he got my ear. So he told me that my 4-year-old daughter would be my angel to get me away from her dad. Well, there it goes. My daughter absolutely loved her dad. I said, never. Actually, she still loves her dad. even more than she loves me. So now that's the craziest part. But guess what? When she was 4 years, when she went to college, she went to college on another coast. We lived on the East Coast. She went to college on the West Coast. And she happened to go to a church with her mentor. The same exact time she was at that church with the mentor, I was on my knees asking God for a new life. The phone rang, and she said, "Ma, God said tell you to come." She don't even remember telling me to this day. She said, "Ma, I don't remember it." And guess what? I said, so I did like Abraham. I packed 3 bags. I quit my job. I left everything that was familiar to me. I bought a one-way ticket and I left. I moved from the East Coast to the West Coast. And after that, oh my gosh, let me tell you. I'll tell you on the next video, but please subscribe below, please, so I could tell you how everything that happened to me, how I was in total obedience to God. I still am. And I hear his voice. He sends me dreams. He sends me to people, angels, all types of miracles happen, all through the power of God. He's real. He's live. Click subscribe below, and I'm going to start telling you some stories so you'll know. God bless. I love you.